Welcome to The Peak, where becoming your best self is our goal. I'm Mike Mittman, and on this week's episode, an organization dedicated to educating youth about inclusion, how a cancer diagnosis didn't stop a determined mother of two, and how a local community college became a certified suicide prevention institution. All that and more coming up on The Peak. Steel City Plant Company put down its roots on Main Street in Bethlehem. Let's hear more about this unique shop.
Steel City Plant Company is a one-stop urban plant shop rooted right here in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
I'm Angie Del Grasso, owner of Steel City Plant Company and co-owner of Plants Plus Vintage. Steel City Plant Company is an urban botanical market that provides already potted, primarily pet-friendly houseplants in downtown Bethlehem. Steel City Plant Company actually started as a pop-up shop. So I was doing this from home with my parents' help, and we did pop-up shops around the Lehigh Valley, partnering with other small businesses. We also participated in Huts on Main, the Downtown Bethlehem Association's Christmas event, and that was just so successful that there was such a calling from the community to have something more permanent. So after a few months of operating as a pop-up shop with Steel City Plant Company, we really wanted to find a brick and mortar location. So I talked with my friends Derek and Warren Clark. They are notorious for owning Domasi Home, which has a few different brands within it. So they have their design studio and also a line called Domasi Flea. So just as friends, we were talking and they're like, this is a great idea and we'd love to support you and kind of make this happen together. So we ended up here on Main Street, partnered together with Plants Plus Vintage. So Steel City Plant Company provides the plants, Domasi Flea provides the vintage. So I was so excited when Derek and Warren wanted to partner with me because they have that experience of how to run a business and multiple businesses successfully. When we found the location for Plants Plus Vintage, there was a spot open upstairs at the Woolworth building on Main Street, so we couldn't have found a more perfect spot, and it's right here in the heart of the downtown, and we can really make plants accessible in an urban community, which is what our mission was. It's so amazing to be part of the downtown Bethlehem community. There's always something happening. The streets are always packed. Thankful for our local business organizations. The Chamber of the Downtown Bethlehem Association really put on amazing events and festivals that we get to be a part of now, and there's just always something happening. Community partnerships is really why we're as successful as we've been able to be. We're so thankful for all of the different organizations in the Lehigh Valley and our friends out in the community that have come out to support us. The unknown, it can be very stressful, but again, it's great to have mentors that help you through all of that. And it was also scary to start a business in the middle of a pandemic. It feels like there's nothing else that can bring us down. If I could tell my past self one thing, it would be to just go for it. It's never going to feel like the perfect time to start a business. It's never going to feel like you're ready. Just jump in and take it step by step and find help along the way and ask people when you need resources.
Steel City Plant Company's mission is to make caring and purchasing plants quick and accessible, all while bringing together a community of plant lovers. I'm Katie, and that was a peek at the Valley.
That store is so full of life and has some great antiques too. Up next, a program that teaches children about the importance of diversity.
When students wake up and they're ready to start the day, we want everyone to feel welcome. We want everyone to feel safe coming to school.
We had a student who said, I thought I was the only one who was teased for her religion. She was Jewish. And she said, I had no idea that there were other people in my classroom going through that. It's not just me.
Stereotypes can be personal and they can get really personal to one person. Being different doesn't mean you're not good. So when you think that you know someone, it turns out that you don't actually know them as well as you think you do.
Everybody needs to be needed. When young people know that there's a place for them and there's something that they can do to help promote understanding and love. It's really important.
Celebrating Me, Celebrating You was created 5 years ago. We received a request from a local school, and what they noticed is that some of their students were not feeling completely included in the student body.
To be able to focus on prejudice and helping students understand stereotypes are huge lessons to help kids understand that we can't judge a book by its cover.
Something that was really helpful was Miss Kate teaching about stereotypes, because I had no clue what a stereotype was until she taught me about it.
We learned about prejudice and stereotypes and identity. We learned about discrimination too.
I enjoyed the talking about what had happened to you, both good and bad things, and just letting it all out. She was able just to have opening ears and listen to stories that happened to us and not just teach, help us with problems.
The students are able to utilize those skills and learn practical ways of handling prejudice and discrimination before it gets to the point where it's really can be harmful.
These students who are receiving this program now, as adults, they will have the tools to change the world around them and the world at large, because they will understand with a clear vision what injustice is and what they can do about it.
These programs are so important for the children, for the community as a whole, that we need as much support as we can get. We don't want to be the best kept secret in Bucks County.
I think it's important to celebrate differences and diversity, because that's how we create a beloved community. Belonging might be one of the most important needs that any human being has, and this program creates belonging for each and every student.
What an important resource for children and the community as a whole. Coming up, how the team at St. Luke's can help patients with a melanoma diagnosis. Stay tuned. This is The Peak. St. Luke's Cancer Center provides the best quality and outcomes for their patients. Let's see how.
My name is Taryn, and I was diagnosed with stage 3 melanoma. I recognized an issue with my skin. Probably it was in spring of 2020. I was pregnant with my second daughter, and I had noticed just after taking a shower that there was a mole that had regrown on my back. And I had previously had the mole removed in 2018. The biopsy said that it was benign. So when it came back, I didn't think anything of it, just noticed that it was back. So I was due for a routine dermatology appointment, and I noticed that another mole had changed during pregnancy. So that's why I actually went to the dermatologist. But then I also mentioned, by the way, this mole grew back on my back, and the dermatologist said, yeah, we're taking that one off.
I first met Taryn when she came to me in the office after she had a mole that was reappearing after being removed a couple years prior. She was diagnosed with melanoma, and she was diagnosed with melanoma that had spread to her lymph nodes. So she came to me to seek treatment options for her stage 3 melanoma.
When I first heard that I had melanoma, when the dermatologist called, it was on a Sunday, and I knew that when a doctor calls you on a weekend, it's not usually the best news. So I was shocked when I heard that I had melanoma. I knew it was one of the rarest form of skin cancer. When the surgical oncologist called me and told me that it had made its way to my lymph nodes in microscopic amounts, I think that was probably the point where I had, the worst reaction.
So when I talked to Taryn about the treatment options available to her for her stage 3 melanoma, we talked about treatment that would reduce her risk of recurrence. And the standard of care nowadays is treatment with a PD-1 inhibitor in this setting where we're trying to prevent her melanoma from coming back.
In addition to doing active surveillance and getting blood work every month, I decided to do adjuvant therapy, so basically an infusion. I go once a month for a year to hopefully keep the melanoma at bay if there is anything still in there. I'm thankful for Dr. Wilson and for St. Luke's because it's not as if you're just another patient.
The favorite part of my job is taking care of my patients and being with them. I feel like I'm there to support them through the lows. We celebrate the highs, and my whole goal is to let them live their life as best as possible. So for them to get to the other side of treatment and be really excited to start their life, it's amazing.
Dr. Wilson has gone out of her way to answer small questions that I have, and she takes the time to call me, ask me how I'm doing, ask me if I'm having side effects, etc. And it's just a nice personal touch and makes you feel cared for. And the same with the St. Luke's staff, especially in the infusion group. They're just very friendly and very caring, and I appreciate that.
It's just amazing to get them through treatment and have them to get to the point where they feel like they can just go and live their life and, check in every once in a while. I feel like I've done a good job.
Joining me today is Dr. Gary Liu, the Director of Melanoma Practice at St. Luke's. Thanks for being here, Dr. Liu.
Thank you for having me here.
So explain for people how melanoma is connected to hematology and oncology, which is what you're board certified in.
In general, as we know, melanoma is a skin disease, and unfortunately, could be a fatal skin cancer. And although at the early stage, we can easily resect it, but sometimes it do metastatic to the lymph node, to the solid organs, and that's when the oncologist like me will have involvement. We will offer patients systemic treatment, and to have this fatal disease could be cured nowadays.
There's an advanced cancer center at St. Luke's, and there's really a very comprehensive staff involved with that. Tell me about the care that's provided to patients when they come into the melanoma practice or the cancer center at St. Luke's.
So here at St. Luke's, we have a multidisciplinary team taking care of skin cancers, including melanoma, involving dermatologists, surgeon, and medical oncologists like me. We offer state-of-the-art treatment here at St. Luke's. Early stage, we offer local treatment, including surgery, Mohs surgery. Usually that is carried out by the dermatologist or surgeons. And again, once it became metastatic, that's when the medical oncologist is involved. And then we offer patients either targeted therapy, which is just a pill, or something called immunotherapy, which is an IV treatment. And we rarely use chemotherapy anymore. And the outcome has been great. Even though it's metastatic, 50% chances we can have the disease cured.
Melanoma, and specifically oncology, is known for some great clinical trials, and I know that you have involvement with that. Tell us a little bit more about clinical trials and what's available for melanoma patients.
Sure. So we do have multiple trials offered to patients at different disease status, including local or metastatic. Local disease, we offer something called PV10 treatment, which is an amazing trial in my opinion, and we have quite a few successful cases, and with those treatments, the disease could be completely cured. And also for metastatic disease, we have a combination of immunotherapy-based regimens, and so far has been all working great. And as time goes by, we are including more and more trials and put more patients on the trials. So far has been very successful.
So there's a lot of hope out there, but before you even get to that stage, and a patient hears this diagnosis and they first come see you, that must be a very scary time. What is your approach with patients, and what do you want them to know right out of the gate?
We want to tell patients like the cancer care now is very, very different than what they have heard about 5-10 years ago. Fatal disease is now treatable, curable even. And we never treat a patient or a disease just by itself. We use patient and family-centered approach. We don't just take care of the disease, but we want to take care of the patient and their family and make sure they understand our plan and make sure we're always on the same page and we make decisions and we fight the fatal disease together.
That comprehensive approach, I think, is so important as people go through their journey. But before they even get to that stage, Dr. Liu, how important is prevention and detection? And how do you work with the family doctors and the dermatologists at St. Luke's to make sure people are getting screened in the first place?
Right. I think that's extremely important, especially for melanoma, these type of skin cancers. Screening and early detection is extremely important. And melanoma itself, sometimes it happens in the back, at least 40% of the times. And obviously just checking by ourselves, sometimes it got missed. So that's why for a patient at high risk, fair skin, blonde, red hair, or someone has freckles, they're at high risk, especially those has a family history of melanoma. They should definitely see their family physician on a regular basis, recommended every year. And if they do have some even higher risk, they should see the dermatologist on a regular basis, and we strongly recommend that.
And it's nothing to be feared because early detection is really the key, and it's amazing
Exactly.
how much you and your colleagues are able to do when someone gets diagnosed early. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Liu. Great information, and we hope that people will continue to use good prevention against the sun, against skin cancers and melanoma, but also most importantly to get checked. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. You're watching The Peak.
Lehigh Valley Reads is a collaboration bringing awareness to the importance of reading and diverse representation in books. Let's hear Stephen's story.
My name is Stephen, and I am the Communications Manager at Bradbury Sullivan LGBT Community Center in Allentown. I was born and raised in Philadelphia to a South Asian family. Coming out, I think, was particularly difficult, especially in a Christian South Asian household. I didn't have a lot of books growing up that would have helped me figure out who I was. The book that I resonate with recently is a book called The Best at It. It's written by Malik Pancholi. Seeing a South Asian gay character as the protagonist was eye-opening to me, refreshing, and so I wanted to see it through. Would it help if I said it? She says ever so gently. She hesitates. Do you think you might be gay? Her voice lilts up like a question, but it's like it's a question she already knows the answers to. I feel like 12-year-old Stephen would be so grateful to read this, probably under the covers, but I would just be really happy to see something like this. Hopefully this is the first of many characters I come across as I read, where I can be like, I see you and I feel you. And I'm hoping that other gay South Asians find this book comforting and other ones as well.
Northampton Community College is taking a proactive approach in saving lives through their suicide prevention plan.
Suicide is currently the second leading cause of death for young people between the ages of 18 and 35.
So clearly this is something that impacts many students either considering or contemplating suicide. It was very important for Northampton Community College to show that this is something that we care about and that we're here to support the students for suicide prevention.
Recently, Northampton Community College became one of the only 5 colleges in Pennsylvania to become a Pennsylvania Department of Education certified suicide prevention institution. Everyone was on board and we thought, let's put together our plan and present to the state that we are more than equipped to prevent suicide on our campuses.
This plan includes advocating for suicide prevention, destigmatizing mental illness, increasing help seeking, and promoting mental wellness.
We really modeled our suicide prevention plan after a model that we frequently use at the college to train staff, students, and faculty in suicide prevention, and this model is called QPR. QPR stands for question, persuade, and refer. So when you notice someone in distress, question them, check in on them, persuade them to seek help, and then refer them to the resources that are available to them. Northampton Community College has already trained over 200 students, staff, and faculty in QPR training, which means we have 200 gatekeepers responsible for preventing suicide.
Having that and having it know that there is help out there helps to provide hope for students, and that's something that's so important as part of suicide prevention, is providing hope.
The plan is available. It's all in one place. It's easy to navigate.
People can look at it, they can see that Northampton Community College is taking suicide prevention seriously. We want to contribute to the larger conversation. By getting this certification, we help contribute positively to that larger conversation.
We are saving lives. You never know who may stumble upon that suicide prevention plan and may need help, and be able to see the resources there for them and make that call to get help. We are spreading awareness all across NCC, and I'm really, really proud of that. And I think it's only going to get more prevalent and bigger from here now that we are certified suicide prevention with the Department of Education through Pennsylvania.
This initiative is so helpful to those who may be suffering with their mental health. I'm Mike Mittman. Thanks for watching. To learn more about anything from today's show, go to our website at thepeaktv.com. And remember, every day is an opportunity to be your best self. This is The Peak. How a St. Luke's helps, how... Oh, wow. Okay, here we go.
Portions of this program were paid for by St. Luke's University Health Network.
The Peak TV is a production of ASR Media.
Hey, it's Dakota. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos.
To see more of the Peak TV, check out our website, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and catch us on WFMZ Channel 69.